Trax figure 8 racing. So tough that the Clydesdale throws a shoe. And the World Championship points race continues with Bigfoot and Equalizer on top.
Again, everyone, I'm Scott Douglas, and welcome to Tuff Trax. Right now, standing in the beautiful VIP suite at Louisville Motor Speedway in Louisville, Kentucky, and behind me, the building of the track, the most unique track that the TNT Monster Truck Challenge runs on all year. It's a figure 8 course at Louisville Motor Speedway. They'll have the monsters turning left and right and having to hit that same set of cars twice. It is a long course, and it has proved to be a very interesting course over the years. You know, Bennett Clark and the Clydesdale Chevrolet has been a real hot topic on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge of late since he landed on his roof at Dallas, Texas in Texas Stadium. Army Armstrong is standing by with the driver of the Clydesdale, Bennett Clark.
Well, thanks, Scott. Bennett, real quick, tell us some of the work you had to do on the truck to get it racing again after the Dallas flip.
Well, we took the truck, put a brand new body on it. The roll cage was damaged a little bit. We replaced a lot of the roll bars up in the top, straightened those out. We replaced them. It damaged my intake that I homemade that I usually run. We took that motor out and replaced the motor with a blown injected motor on alcohol now.
Okay, now that was a bad luck the last time we saw you in Dallas, Texas. We're coming to Louisville, Kentucky. If there's a silver lining to a cloud, you proved to us last year Louisville is your silver lining because this truck seems to like this track. You had one of the most dramatic finishes in the sport last year. Can you turn the bad luck from Dallas into good luck in Louisville?
Well, I hope so, Army, because this is a long track. I've come from behind the big Carolina Crusher last year. He thought he had me beat. You know, he wasn't watching what he was doing. The race is not over till the green flag drops.
Well, Scott, that's a handle on it right now in Louisville, Kentucky. This guy thinks he may have the trump card up his sleeve. Remember, this race is not over until it's over. This is the guy that told you. He proved it last year. Let's see what he's going to do this year.
Thanks, Army. You know, it's been a unique marriage between Louisville Motor Speedway and TNT. LMS rated as one of the nicest short tracks in the entire country by NASCAR, while TNT has always provided this speedway with the Major League and monster truck racing. And it's got a great tradition here. Bigfoot, Carolina Crusher, Awesome Kong, Equalizer, all have victories in TNT monster truck action here. And all of them, except Awesome Kong, are back to try and do it again here in 1990. You know, the uniqueness of this course is, of course, the X in the middle, the left-hand turns, the right-hand turns, but also the length of the course. It'll take between 45 and 50 seconds for the top monsters to get around one lap on the figure 8 chute at Louisville Motor Speedway. Chris Chapman is standing by to talk more about it, and you know, Chris, it's going to be a course where some speed will be attained. Scott Stevens, the Auto Value King Krunch, said he thinks these trucks with the right gear could get up to 60 miles an hour on this course.
That's right, Scott. It should be a very fast race course as this track is almost a half a mile long. Right now I'm standing on the start-finish line. The trucks will start here, take the first half of the 8, take the cars behind me, jump those, come out to my left, take another half of the 8 and come back across the cars and finish here. Now there's two things that these drivers are going to have to contend with. One is the heat and two are the turns. Let me explain first about the heat. It's been 90 degrees, hot, sultry, and humid here in Louisville, Kentucky. This asphalt is just pouring out the heat. The second thing are the turns. On one half of the loop, these guys are going to be on the inside, and on the other half, obviously, they're going to take the outside. They must stay in their lane or they're going to be disqualified.
Tuff Trax is brought to you with the superstars of monster truck racing, ready to go side by side in the qualification round on the figure 8 at Louisville, Kentucky. The long wheelbase of the Clydesdale and the short wheelbase of No Problem. Earlier, Chris Chapman got a chance to talk with John Moore about his short wheelbase truck and the new engine in No Problem.
John, short wheelbase with one like you have on the Ford Bronco, No Problem, could be advantageous to you. Do you think that that will help you in the long run here today?
It's not going to hurt. There's no doubt about that. With the way the track is, the turns are pretty slow, but I should be able to get through them a little quicker in a longer wheelbase and make a little sharper turn, be able to handle the inside turns on the course better.
Now, you brought in a new motor here. Is that going to be to your advantage or not?
There's no telling. I have no idea how the motor's going to run yet. It's got about 7 minutes on it right now. We haven't put it through a race, haven't put it through a qualifying, haven't done anything but put it in the truck yet so far. So when the green light comes on, we're going to drop the hammer and see how good it works.
We're going to find out right now how that new engine setup will do for No Problem and John Moore. Army, our first qualification ought to be interesting with the long wheelbase and the short wheelbase contrast.
Well, it should be interesting, but it's exactly 180 degrees off. The short wheelbase truck will have the advantage on the inside of the track. That'll be the second half of the track. Right now, it is side by side. Advantage should go to the inside lane of Moore when they get into the last half. Let's see what's going to happen. First jump. The short wheelbase will start working for John Moore. Scott, he's right. It seems to be working real well. Look at this.
Hank's taking some speed bumps on that turn. That forced him back out. But Moore, obviously, with a much better qualifying run than the Clydesdale. Oh, lots of air.
The people in Louisville are loving it. We're just into the qualifying session.
Really launched at that time. And now Clydesdale completes his run. And remember, that's really the first lap of any kind for Bennett Clark, as trying here in Louisville, trying to get things straightened out on the Clydesdale after what happened to him in Dallas. There you see the times, and that's a good time for No Problem at 41 seconds flat. Here's the gravedigger, Dennis Anderson, out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina.
Notice something that is not on the truck, Scott. The front headlights. He is notorious. When he turns the lights on, he's on 100%. There must be something wrong with the truck that we're not aware of. He goes up against the Outlaw, Chevrolet versus Ford. We're going to learn something right here.
Mike Wine and the Outlaw from Pensacola, New Jersey. Digger gets the good jump out of the hole.
Right now, believe it or not, it's almost an even race. Digger works the inside. Now watch Wine come out of the top of the screen. Wine will be working the short part. Oh, look at the air. And they're only, we've got problems. Gravediggers, Sanders, all over the track. There's shrapnel everywhere. He's trying to shut it down. Meanwhile, Wine's working the inside.
Shrapnel's a good turn. All kinds of stuff flying out from underneath the gravedigger. It's the Outlaw now coming around. Digger's still rolling, obviously a little lighter.
Yeah, but listen to the Ford people. Oh, what a qualifying run. The Ford people were really getting behind White, and he has problems. Both trucks suffer tremendous amounts of damage, and they're only qualifying.
Man, oh man, the gravedigger actually out-qualified the Outlaw at 41.82. Let's look at it again. Watch the stuff. And I mean, I don't know what else to call it, because several different parts come flying out from under the digger. Wow.
What that is, the safety shields were coming out from underneath it. They served their purpose. They kept everything contained under the truck.
Dennis Anderson will now survey the damage, looking underneath his gravedigger monster truck. Obviously, more problems for the digger. It's been a year of breakage, and it continues in Louisville, Kentucky. KRIS Chapman's in the pit, and understand now working her way over to talk with Dennis Anderson. Let's go down there now.
Dennis Anderson, obviously, no front drive shaft. Can you tell us if there's any other problems?
Yeah, we broke a mid-plate that the transfer case bolts to. You know, in qualifying, the ramps were really kind of steep. And, got right much air came down on one side. It crammed the shaft back into the case, and it broke the mid-plate on the transfer case and broke the front drive shaft out of it.
Do you believe it's a track?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like we're going to run fast. We kind of need some mellow ramps. We can still get air. That track right there, if I really would have hammered the truck, I would have skied it out and broke it in two, probably.
Are you going to be able to come back? That's the big question.
I don't think so. We broke the rear tie rod in, too, so we're out of it, as usual.
Boy, as usual, and that's the disgusted sound from Dennis Anderson. He is really unhappy with the way things have been going. And, you know, Army, as we get ready for this next one, Dennis had just been running some non-TNT events in California, saying he was doing quite well in exhibitions, but he comes back to the racing circuit, and it really hurt him.
Well, see, that brings up an interesting point, the fact that when you see the gravedigger, there's only one gravedigger. It's not like a NASCAR team that has 3 or 4 vehicles, short track and long track. Dennis Anderson has one truck. I think he's abusing that truck too much. He's got to back off on the exhibition and get serious about racing. Now, you're talking about serious about racing. Look at this kid from Tennessee, Scott.
Greg Holbrook, the rookie driving the World Championship truck in the Equalizer against Gary Wiggins and the Dodge Ram known as Mopar Magic, puffing a whole bunch of smoke. Holbrook's first ever run on a figure-8 course looked pretty good in the Equalizer.
Yeah, rookie driver out of Tennessee looking real smooth. We noticed something on the Mopar Magic there was a little bit of chirping or bouncing in the front suspension. We're going to keep an eye on that later this afternoon. That's where the truck is biting and letting go.
Equalizer has the fast time at 40.79. But let's go back to the pit. Chris Chapman's with Mike Wine.
God, them ramps are insane. They're too steep. They're just too, these ramps are so steep. When I came down, I'm not sure to tell you the truth. It came down, it felt like it landed on the wheel. When it did, what it did is I have a U-shaped tie rod bar because we're using a different style front end than anybody else. And it's U-shaped. It came all the way together now, so it made a circle. What I got to do is take the tie rod bar off, see if I can straighten it. There's a welder on the premises and see if we can get it and see if I can make it back for the first round. I got extra spare drive shafts and all, so we'll try our best, see what we can do.
Boy, you can see the drive shaft flopping underneath there. Here's hoping Mike gets it ready and he's back racing. Tuff Trax is... Qualifying action continues for the TNT monster trucks on their most demanding course of the year, the Figure 8 course at Louisville Motor Speedway in Louisville, Kentucky. The Auto Value King Crunch Special, that's Scott Stevens closest to you, the Carolina Crusher, and Gary Porter has the inside right now. Coming to the first jump, Crusher has the edge, but here's where Crunch has all the momentum.
All right, right now is when Gary Porter's expertise is going to pay off. He's over the first set of cars smooth. All he's got to do is make one long left turn and get some good air. Look for we might be seeing a quick qualifying time. Stevens starts to make the move on the inside, Scott.
Here they come, the final jump, and then they'll cross the finish line. Carolina Crusher and the Auto Value King Crunch. Good lap for both of them, but Crusher has the faster time, and now we're getting the word that it's indeed the fastest time. So Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher sets fast time at 40.29, while the Auto Value King Crunch, another outstanding sub-41 second run. All three trucks now, the top three, Crunch, Crusher, and Equalizer under 41 seconds. Here we go with that brand new micro machine. Kurt Fischer out of Jefferson City, Missouri, and Kid Rarig Thunder Chicken out of Pennsylvania.
What we're going to be looking at here are two extremes in the sport. You got the brand new, beautiful micro machine with the high-tech suspension, big block, supercharged engine. He's on the inside, the short half of the course for the first part. He's going against Thunder Chicken. Kid Rarig, notorious for just being consistent. Watch for a big lead to be pulled off by the micro machine, but it should tighten up around the finish line, Scott.
Like we started developing in Dallas, Army, the micro machine is a truck everybody's watching. A lot of people would like to build trucks, just like John Breen has built the micro machine.
Well, John Breen built the truck, but you know, the sport is progressing now. John Breen is kind of like Bob Chandler and Everett Jasper. He's not going to be driving. He's going to spend his whole time managing the team. He's hired him a young gun to do the driving for him, and the kid's doing a good job. Of course, Kurt Fischer's no newcomer to motorsports. He's a past world champion in mud bucket. Look at the finish line. I told you it's going to tighten up when we get on the end.
Still, the micro machine has the better run of the two. Kurt Fischer and the micro machine out of Jefferson City, Missouri, the Breen Boys Racing Toys stable with a run of 42.33. Thunder Chicken has 43.06. Well, the final qualifier is going to be that Bigfoot 4. All right, let's develop the story today. Bigfoot 4 is not being driven by its normal driver, John Pine. Pine was injured recently. The Bigfoot 8 driver, Andy Brass, is in Bigfoot 4. And if we know one thing about Andy Brass, is he is not afraid of anything, anytime. He will let it all hang out on this course.
He'll let it hang out if the truck is 100% and you are not, repeat, you are not looking at a 100% Bigfoot. The truck stumbled right on the starting line. It sounds like a fueling problem. Brass overcame it, but it cost him some precious time. Look at this, plenty of air. Now watch the suspension. See if they've got it figured out. We're looking for a little bit of a bounce. Oh, they're working good now. One thing, there it is, lifting the front wheel. It could be quick time. Scott, what does it look like?
Man, look at the air from Bigfoot again as Andy Brass puts him through at the only sub-40-second lap, 39.56. The fast qualifier, Andy Brass and Bigfoot, and look at him get in the air. You can tell that Chandler and Brass have this truck ready.
Well, they stumbled on the starting line. That cost him, I would say, 2 seconds. You got to remember that.
Look at him again. Look how high up he is.
Watch the driver when he lands. Look at the abuse they take.
Andy Brass and Bigfoot is your fast qualifier.
Andy, you're the fast qualifier. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it does. You know, I was kind of watching everybody play the track, you know, and I told myself I was going to be out there. I wasn't going to be against anybody, so I was just going to kind of lay down a good, smooth run and feel the track out this run.
If 4 pulls a 39 out here, what do you think that Bigfoot 8 would do to this track?
Well, it's hard to say, you know. I know 8 would do a little bit better job than what 4 would, you know. And plus, probably John might do a little bit better than me because right now, this is my first time in 4 trying to get back used to the truck. So maybe as night gets better, I'll get better with the truck, too.
Good luck, too.
Thank you.
Let's look at the points coming into the action today in the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Equalizer has reclaimed the World Championship points lead by 4 over Bigfoot. Scott Stevens third, the Auto Value King Crunch, Carolina Crusher, and Awesome Kong still very much in contention for the World Championship. Then Steve Wilkie's USA 1, the Gravedigger needing to make up some ground. Buffalo Tremor and Nightlife tied for the 8th spot, and that Outlaw Ford currently sits in the number 10 spot. Coming right back with the first round of competition on Tuff Trax. Drop to the bottom of the bracket. They'll be the final run of the first round. That, of course, will allow Outlaw time to make repairs and make it into the first round, and they do that for anybody. As long as he's ready to go by the end of the round, they'll be able to make the run. Here we go with Clydesdale, and no problem.
Kind of looks like a little deja vu. This is exactly the first qualifying run we saw this afternoon. Let's see if the results are going to be the same.
Here they come to the first set. Let's watch them.
Long wheelbase truck on the left side. Short wheelbase truck on the right side. Whoa, we got problems. Clydesdale.
You see no problem, still in good shape. Clydesdale is sitting stationary. He has completely sheared off the back right side tire. No problem, will go to an easy victory. But the question now is what kind of damage? Is it terminal for the night for the Clydesdale? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, the rear suspension completely collapsed. I would say he's out of this.
Goodness gracious. Bennett Clark's bad luck continues. He had terrible luck in Dallas, and now it continues on what has traditionally been a good course for him at Louisville, Kentucky.
What we're looking for is a knuckle. That's exactly what happened. They have what they call a knuckle, and the knuckle collapsed, letting it come apart on a brand new body, too, Scott.
All right, there you see it. Great replay from our camera down in the turn. Shows you how it broke apart. Army Armstrong's over now to talk with Bennett Clark.
Bennett, do you have any idea what happened?
Yeah, I just took a look at it. I broke the whole axle housing off right next to where the planetary bolts to the axle.
We were talking about your luck changing when you came to Louisville. It doesn't look like it's going to be that way. But, Bennett, something I noticed in the qualifying round, these ramps look awfully steep. You guys are going way up in the air real quick.
Yeah, these steepest ramps I believe we've ever had. And, you know, I mean, we used to have these ramps 3 years ago. And, I don't know, it takes a real tough truck to stand through this right here, no doubt. I don't know, you know, we can tore this one up.
We'll let you get back up, so I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you, Army.
Thanks, Army. Now it is time for the Crunch of the Week.
Hold on to your seats for the amazing Crunch of the Week, brought to you by Micro Machines. The #1 colossally collectible vehicles in the world. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
Well, you know what we're going to see on the Crunch of the Week here. Once again, it's Clydesdale up in the air, and watch that back passenger side, if you will. Man, he just shears it right off. Boy, Army, he must have taken a beating to at the end, talking about Bennett in the cab.
Yeah, he was tossed around in there, but something I was looking at is John Moore. And, you know, these ramps are very, very steep. I knew they were steep, but you watch these guys. Long truck, short truck, doesn't make any difference. You're going to go sky today in Louisville.
And a lot of damage you can see being absorbed by the Clydesdale Chevrolet. That's it on the Crunch of the Week, the Clydesdale. The tow truck, if you will, for a monster truck is that big front-end loader taking the Clydesdale out. Chris Chapman is in the pits right now with John Moore.
Did you see what happened to Bennett?
I saw something bounce real slow going by me out there on after the first set of cars. I don't know what happened to him. I really don't know what happened.
He lost his rear back right wheel. What do you think about that?
Oh man, that's the one I welded last year.
Good luck luck to you on the next round, John.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
John Warren, no problem. John's definitely different, Army.
He walks to his own drummer, but oh, what a drummer he walks to.
I'll tell you, bad luck for Clydesdale. Hate to see that for Bennett, but you know that tough hombre from Georgia. They'll be putting that truck back together. Here's Mopar Magic and Equalizer side by side. Obviously, Equalizer and Greg Holbrook, a heavy, heavy favorite against the Dodge of Gary Wiggins.
The suspension's going to be an advantage for the inside truck. Plus, the kid's a rookie. He's hungry. You've got to look at the Chevrolet for the winner. Now, notice how quick he leaves the start line. The truck and the torque converter let the engine get up where it makes instant horsepower. He's already out to almost a quarter of a track lead right now.
To the first jump they come.
You're looking right down the cockpit of the Chevrolet. Now we go off to the side. He kind of smooths over it. He doesn't really attack it. Now he'll start lanking that big motor for the final half, Scott.
Mopar Magic got way over in the middle of the cars, and he has gone dead in the water.
Look on the hood. Hey, look, the kill box came out of the truck and landed on the hood. That's why it went dead.
Equalizer finishes off an outstanding run, but the story is obviously the kill box. You see Gary Wiggins has it in his hand. We've talked about that in previous shows. That's the killer radio that'll detonate an engine. And let's watch for it. It's not on the hood now. Still not.
Watch the bounce. There it is. You can see it flying around the cockpit, bounces out. Now, instantly, it kills the engine. That's what it's supposed to do, but not now.
Gary, does the word kill box mean anything to you?
Yeah, it means I just lost the race. It came out and bounced in my lap and then up on the hood of the truck, in which it killed the mag on the truck and shut the truck off.
Was the track just that rough?
No, not really. It's just a matter of it hit it just right and made a good bounce, and when it bounced right, it just throwed the box out.
Bad luck for Gary Wiggins and the Mopar Magic Dodge. This could be a good race, the consistent Thunder Chicken against the sometimes spectacular Auto Value King Krunch.
You got to say this guy's always spectacular. Look at the whole shot he put on this guy. Thunder Chicken dead in the water on the start line. Stevens is still legging it pretty good with the Auto Value Cobra Seat Special. Now he backpedals a little bit. You got to remember, Scott Stevens is connected with his crew to the race and radio operation. He knows his competitor's gone dead in the water. So very wisely, he takes command from the crew chief and going to ease through.
Yeah, obviously he's not going to tear anything up right here. He's going to ease over, and some of the folks in the crowd may not think of this as much of a show, but Scott Stevens will tell you we're here racing, and this is the smart strategy right here. Go ahead, finish this run in good shape, and get ready for the quarterfinals. Now, in the pit, the work continues on the Outlaw Ford. Outlaw is trying to get back in shape to get ready to go up against Bigfoot here in just a moment. And I think the Outlaw is actually going to make it. That'll be the race coming up when we round out the first round. The Outlaw has both barrels blazing as he goes gunning for Bigfoot. The TNT monster trucks on Tuff Trax back at Louisville Motor Speedway's Figure 8 course, and the Carolina Crusher, the big Chevrolet, taking on another Chevy, the new Chevy, known as Micro Machine, and that's the John Breen built truck driven by Kurt Fischer. Gary Porter ready to go with the Crusher, and Army Armstrong. Ought to be a good matchup of two very tough Chevrolets.
You got two tough Chevrolets, but you got the old and the new. The old, the Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter has been around a long time. He knows the truck inside now. He'll be working the inside lane for the first half. The new is the Micro Machine. Now, Fischer is he's not used enough to the truck. You can tell, look where he's lining up. He's about 15 feet further away from everybody else, trying to get a different angle on the turn, but the old pro nailed him right on that start line. Look at this.
I'll tell you, though, on the outside, that's not a bad start for the Micro Machine.
Okay, now he'll go to the inside for the second half if he can make the turn. Veteran versus rookie. Rookie coming after him, trying to come on him real hard on the inside. Fischer's having a little bit of problems now. Cuts through the infield track, but working the inside.
All right, now I believe, if I understand the ruling, if that's going to be grounds for a disqualification, we're not hearing. He's going to continue the run, and Micro Machine will finish first. But this one's going to go back to the TNT videotape and the TNT decision maker.
This could be a case of winning a battle but losing a war. We'll have to wait for the TNT people to let us know.
Well, until we get that word, unofficially, Micro Machines cross first, but watch on the replay just how hard Kurt Fischer and the Micro Machine hit at the end of the course. Man, he really took a lick. Here's Chris Chapman with Kurt Fischer.
Kurt, you knocked off a real power horse out there.
Well, John told me to go out and just feel how it went, and if it went good, just go ahead and hammer on it. We did, of course, with this track, the way it is. We landed on the rear end. We bent the shocks real bad, so I doubt that we'll be back.
So this could be it?
This could be it for tonight.
What's it going to take to get it back together? Will you be back for next week's racing?
Oh, yeah, we'll be back, no problem.
Kurt Fischer and the Micro Machine giving you some bad news right there. They may not be back, but they may not be back anyway, Army, because of this. The ruling, as I understand it, all four wheels and the grass is DQ.
Well, that's definitely what happens. So Gary Porter's going to be coming back. He brought out an interesting point in that interview about the shock absorbers because they run a spring all the way around the shock absorber, Scott.
All right, Chris Chapman's worked her way over to Gary Porter. Let's go find out what he's got to say about that run.
Gary Porter, you thought that Micro Machine should have been disqualified.
But I seen them over on the grass, and I knew he had 2 tires over on the grass, and I got back in the pits, and several guys come up and told me he had all 4 tires, on the grass. That was my understanding. We had to stay on the pavement. And so, I went and asked the track officials. They said it was a legal run, so I'm not arguing with them. The next run, I'm going to cut on the grass.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Next run, Army, he'll be back because fast losers are going to come back, and several of them. He'll probably be one of them.
Yeah, look for Porter, and he's a man of his word. Speaking of man of the word, watch the Outlaw. He'll try to put a hole shot on Bigfoot. The only hope he's got is to go quick and go first. He doesn't. Bigfoot, now he goes down right there 50 feet, and something electrical goes away in that truck. Andy Brass is sitting dead in the middle of the track. The Outlaw is getting ready to go to the first turn. Now Bigfoot comes to life.
The Outlaw will hit the cars. Very important for Bigfoot to go ahead and complete this run and get a time if he can get it started. And the reason is all these other trucks are braking. They'll need somebody to come back. Right now they're trying to get that truck refired so Andy can record a time.
Okay, what it is, they're running this truck on gasoline. The engine was built for alcohol. There is a jetting problem. In other words, the fuel and the air mixture is not right. But look at the Outlaw. His motor goes away, and now here comes Bigfoot. You talk about drama. These boys are really doing it in Louisville, Kentucky.
The Outlaw gets a big feather in his cap. A win over Bigfoot. And Andy Brass knows the way things are going tonight, that all he's got to do is complete a run, and he's very likely going to get a chance to come back.
Look at the left front wheel, Scott. Tippy towing. 13,000 pounds on 3 wheels.
Brass still hits it hard. Andy did not save the truck one bit, and I think he's going to get a chance to come back if he can keep rolling. But the winner is the Outlaw and Mike Wine. Army standing by with Mike Wine, and this has got a race. It's one of the biggest wins of his racing career.
Well, in motorsport, the rule is you take it any way they can give it to you. And, son, he had an electrical problem is what it was. Not like a kill box or something, but it cut clean on him. First thing you asked me what happened to him, does that mean you weren't aware of it at all?
No, I wasn't aware of anything at all because I messed up the front end so bad when I went out and qualified. Both tie rods are broke. I got to thank Buffalo Drummer, Johnny K, and everybody in the pits for even letting me get this truck back here. It's just barely welded together at even run. I never expected this at all. I'm in shock.
Well, you're going to the next round. You're going to pick up some good money here tonight, but are we going to be watching the walking wounded the rest of the night in the form of the Outlaw?
No, I'm going back now in the welder. I got a guy standing back there, and everybody in there is going to, with their best heart, are going to help me. We're going to come back strong.
Now we understand that Micro Machine has indeed been disqualified after beating Carolina Crusher. Let's go to Chris Chapman in the pits with Kurt Fischer.
Kurt, kind of a late ruling on the disqualification. What do you think about that?
Well, I knew whenever I came off the cars, I landed way over in the dirt, but I had no idea that they were so worried. I mean, I thought if they were going to be worried about getting out of bounds, that they would put cones there, and then it would be either yes or no question, but instead they didn't put nothing. They come to us and said that's the way it is, so that's about all we can do, is just take it, wait for next week.
How do you really feel?
I can't say that on air.
Once again, he's going to have to put away Gary Wiggins and Mopar Magic, and on this course, there are no sure things.
Driver goes the thumbs up sign, means he's ready to go. He'll be working the inside with a Chevrolet. Again, that truck weighing 12,000 pounds comes out like a rocket. Chevrolet on the inside, Dodge on the outside.
Greg Holbrook looks good. Let's watch him hit the car.
Now, normally he'll burn the throttle, try to stay close to the ground. That's exactly what he does. See, he keeps the truck close to the ground, doesn't get a whole lot of air. Now he is at the really leg and mount motor shimmy for the last half of the track, Scott.
Mopar Magic in trouble. Gary Wiggins stops dead on the course. It's going to be an easy win for Greg Holbrook and the Equalizer Chevrolet out of Springfield, Tennessee. Running for Gary Cook, the rookie looking good in that truck that David Morris drove to the '89 World Championship. Now, Wiggins has refired Mopar, but for the night, you're going to stick a fork in him, he's done. Army, can we see any problems here?
No, the run looks good. I'm looking to see if maybe the kill box may have malfunctioned again. That's not the case.
Mopar Magic just got beat.
That's just racing. Who we got coming up now, Scott?
We'll be taking a look at our next matchup between the Auto Value King Crunch Special and the Bigfoot Ford.
Watch the Ford. See if it centers in the first 50 feet. Scott Stevens on the inside has laid all his cards on the table. If he's going to get ahead, he's going to do it in the first 50 feet. Andy Brass doesn't want it to happen.
Andy Brass wants to beat Scott Stevens worse than anybody.
There it is. There it is. That's exactly. That might be enough for the Chevrolet to hold on. But Andy Brass is going to be coming back like a fast-moving freight. You can bet your last nickel on that. Here he comes.
During all the controversy between Bigfoot and TNT, Scott Stevens has been a spokesman against letting Bigfoot 8 run. And now Andy Brass wants to beat him in Bigfoot 4 so bad he can taste it.
Two cars weighing 13,000 pounds, look like 2,000 pounds. Sprint vehicles going head-to-head. Louisville, Kentucky, Brass takes the win. Look at the angle. Beautiful, not beautiful.
Andy Brass puts Bigfoot 4 into an impressive victory over Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch. And I'm going to tell you, Army, they've made a lot of modifications on that Bigfoot 4 truck, but Andy is driving it just like he drove Bigfoot 8, like he's not worried about taking any abuse, and like he can stop the truck on a dime.
John Pratt normally drives this truck. He's injured, like you say. This truck lands a whole lot harder. It's a stiffer truck than Bigfoot 8. Andy said once he got used to that, he'd be a bear. Hey, he's a bear.
Andy Brass will now hit that second set in Bigfoot 4 and impressively put away Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch. Army's with Andy, and I know that was a sweet win for Bigfoot.
Andy, we know there's no love lost between you and Stevens. He's been going around. As a matter of fact, he's even got a sign on the front of his truck in reference to a lawsuit that you'll have against the TNT people. That's his viewpoint. You told me in Dallas that you would love nothing better than to come back and beat him with an older truck, and that's exactly where you are right now.
Yeah, that's right. You know, everybody's protesting a new truck and everything. You know, well, we brought out the old one and proved we can do it right again with the old one. You know, we don't really need the new one, but the new one's a lot safer. It's a lot better truck, and it puts on a lot better show. You know, we can come back out with the old Ford Bigfoot, you know, and beat him. That just tickles me pink.
Yeah, that was a big smile from Andy Brass. He's in the Final Four, and another Ford's going to go to the Final Four. The winner of this race, Outlaw, and no problem. And John Moore is out of the line.
Moore went dead on the start line. The Outlaw's got an engine going away. The white smoke coming out indicates he blew a head gasket. He's taking a big chance right now. He is pushing that engine to the absolute maximum. That's how important getting to the next round is. If that was you or I, Scott, I guarantee you, we'd have shut this truck off a long time ago, but he needs the point. You can see the engine going away. Look.
Well, all you can say is that Lady Luck's riding with the Outlaw tonight. Bigfoot died on him in the last round. Now No Problem dies on him. He's going to be in the semifinals if he completes this jump legally.
You're talking about Lady Luck. I just thought of something. You know where they build these trucks to start with? About a mile and a half down the road. Maybe these old Fords just won't die in Louisville. They want to come back and put a win down.
Mike Wine got himself another win. I think he's saying, I'm going to the pits, boys.
Yeah, he waved off the camera interview and said he's going back into the pits. He is hot.
Hot in terms of his truck.
Exactly.
He will be back in the semifinals if he can get it fixed. And again, it was no problem dying at the line. John Moore, a tough day at the office. Chris Chapman's in the pit with Mike Wine of the Outlaw.
Mike, you said it earlier. What in the world else can go wrong with this truck?
You're not going to believe this. We got it narrowed down to either I blew a head gasket. We're going out there, and it's still 220 degrees. We broke the front end and broke the drive shaft. We worked on it so hard, I totally forgot about the motor. Just negligence. Ran it out there a second time. Foot broke down. I got to come back again. It broke the front drive shaft. And we still worked on the original problem, the tie rod. Went back out there at 220 degrees. It's well over 260. I don't even know if I took out the rings in the motor or the water temperature. But you know me, I'll get it fixed some way. I'm going to go back out the next round no matter what. If I'm going to destroy it, it's going to be destroyed on the racetrack while somebody's trying to beat me. I'm not going to give up. Nobody's going to get a bye run off me.
A real Ford Chevrolet War, the Bigfoot Ford, the Outlaw Ford, they're both still alive. The Carolina Crusher Chevy, the Equalizer Chevy, they're both still alive. We go to the semifinals. Now, Crusher got a bye run in the quarterfinals because Thunder Chicken couldn't make the call. So Crusher should be a fresher truck, and Bigfoot has had trouble at the starting line, Army, in every run tonight.
Look where Andy Brass moves. He moves to the outside. He's going to have to clean the engine out, keep wrapping the engine. They've got to get fuel to the engine. The fuel mixture is not right. It's stuttering about 50 feet off the starting line. And there it goes again. Now the Chevrolet goes out. Gary Porter is going to go for everything he knows he's worth, because when Bigfoot does come alive, here he comes. He's going after the Chevrolet right now.
But he's almost a half lap down, Army. You can see Crusher's already finished the jump. He gets a little sand on his back wheel. Now Bigfoot bounces at the end, and Crusher is firmly in control.
He's not a half lap anymore. Here comes Bigfoot working the inside. Andy Brass doing a great job. They're going to go to the jump side by side. Scott, Chevrolet, Ford. Who's it going to be?
Bigfoot caught it. Unbelievable. And let's wait till they get the photo finished. But Army, I think Andy Brass won the race. Look at him in Louisville. They've gone nuts.
Man, I'm about to go nuts down here. That was the best monster truck race I've ever seen.
I don't know if Bigfoot won it. If he didn't, you got to give him the big heart of the night. He was beat right there, but he keeps coming and keeps coming, and he either pulled it out or barely lost.
Gary Porter went bear hunting with the switch. Let's see if it paid off.
At the end, Bigfoot gave it all he had. Let's get a look at the angle here. Man, I think Bigfoot got him. Army Armstrong working his way over to Andy Brass and Gary Porter, but I think Bigfoot won. We're going to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you had to see, I believe, the best monster truck race ever. You just saw it. Between the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet and the Bigfoot Ford. Andy Brass, it bobbled on you right on the starting line. Have any idea what happened?
No, I don't. You know, we've been having problems with that right off the line. All night tonight it's been bobbling on us. We fixed it one run, and then this run it acted up again.
Well, by the crowd screaming, we just found out you're coming to the finals. You took the win. Gary, does that surprise you?
It was a very close race. I knew I was going to push the truck really hard, and they're running against Andy, and right there at the end, I thought he did get me.
He was right. You're going to see it right here, and there it is. By about the length of a wheel, Andy Brass and Bigfoot with probably, I don't think there's any doubt that no one in a monster truck race has ever come back from a bigger deficit, because they rarely run any course this long, and he was a good 5 seconds behind him at one point.
That finish line looked like synchronized monster truck flying to me. That was beautiful.
Andy Brass with an unbelievable run. And that noise, is that the Outlaw?
It's the Outlaw. The heat's in the motor. You can see the head gasket is what's gone away. Watch him about halfway around the track. You should start getting smoke out of it. The Equalizer really should have an easy go on this one.
Greg Holbrook trying to get into another showdown with Bigfoot in the final. Here comes the World Championship truck. Where's the Outlaw? I don't even see him. He stopped on the course.
Now, Holbrook is playing around a little bit. He's trying to get a handle on the truck because he believes he is going to the final. There you go. Head gasket caught up with the Outlaw. It's going to be a Blues Brother final with Chevrolet in blue and Ford in blue in Louisville.
Look at that wheel come up from the Equalizer out of the turn as Greg Holbrook finishes the run.
They're setting the chassis just like sprint cars on these monster trucks, Scott.
Greg Holbrook, the rookie driver of the truck that won it all a year ago, gets the win. And the luck and time finally ran out on the Outlaw. He had basically been winning as the walking wounded all night, but this time it went away on him, and the other truck was able to complete the run. You can just see the smoke, Army. You well documented the heat, the problem with the head gasket, and you can just put a fork in him. He's done for the night. Equalizer with a good run. Holbrook getting the victory right there.
Now Holbrook used this kind of as a test and tune run. He ran a little bit harder here than he has in the earlier rounds. He knows what he's got to do in the next round to get by Bigfoot.
Equalizer and Greg Holbrook into the finals. Here's Army.
You really ran hard on that run. Were you aware that Mike Wine was having problems and shut off early?
No, I wasn't aware of it, but it doesn't matter. I need to get to practice and get used to running hard. I'm thinking I have to do it.
How about the landing of the truck? When you hit that time, you completely cleared all the cars. You landed awfully, awfully hard. This seems to be a young man's sport. Somebody your age can come back from that. Somebody my age, I don't think could. That was impact. That doesn't bother you?
No, that truck absorbs the impact real good, and the seat's suspended, and it just takes all the shock just about.
We'll see you in the final. Hang in there.
Thank you, man.
Greg Holbrook. And the Equalizer. That youthful enthusiasm. There he is, man. He's ready to go head-to-head with Bigfoot. That's coming up. And speaking of coming up, here's where the TNT Monster Truck Challenge is coming up. A big, big tour coming up all across New Jersey and New York State. Look for your place and go see the monsters. They love it in Louisville. Bigfoot and Equalizer in the final. KRIS has caught up with Bigfoot founder Bob Chandler, who doesn't like the idea of Bigfoot 4 having to race these trucks. He's not a happy man about Bigfoot 8's banishment, but he's got to be happy that Bigfoot 4 is keeping him in the points race.
Bob, you've got to feel a little bit vindicated. You didn't want Bigfoot 4 out here running, and you're winning.
Well, Bigfoot 4 is a 7-year-old truck. We've done a lot of updating on it. In fact, we're running 2 nitrogen shocks on the back. We are running leaf springs, but it still is not what I call a stage 3 monster truck. It shouldn't be running out here this fast. It is doing a good job, and I thank the driver and everybody else. It is good, but it's still not the right truck for this job.
What's your secret to your success tonight?
Good people. I got good drivers. I got good shop people. We spend a lot of money maintaining our trucks and having preventive maintenance. Just trying hard.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, here we go. I'm going to tell you, the crowd is absolutely going bonkers here at Andy Vertrese's beautiful Louisville Motor Speedway for this final matchup. It's Bigfoot number 4 against Equalizer. Again, a slow start for Bigfoot. Equalizer is building a huge lead, but we've seen this before. And here comes Andy Brass, a full head of steam to the first jump. Now Bigfoot's got the inside. He got a little squirrely as he came off the first set. Equalizer trying to build up momentum on the outside. It's going to be another photo finish. Here they come to the wire. Oh my, another photo. It's too close to call. Equalizer and Bigfoot. What a race between the 2 greatest monster trucks in the world today. Or at least the 2 greatest monster truck camps, because Bob Chandler's saying, this is not my best truck, but I think he thinks this is his best driver, and Andy Brass is airing it out. Watch him come to the finish line. They almost collided. Look at that. Bigfoot almost landed on top of the Equalizer. Wow. Let's watch it from this angle and see if we can tell who the winner is. Again at the end, Bigfoot, if he'd have come toward the center another 6 inches, he would have absolutely landed on the Equalizer. But it appears that the Equalizer barely wins it. The finish line was actually right at the end of the cars, and Equalizer still had the lead at that point. He adds 2 points to his lead over Bigfoot. That's all. Equalizer now 6 points in front of Bigfoot. The Auto Value King Krunch loses some ground trying to track down the top 2. You see the rest of the top 10 as we take a deep breath after watching some of the greatest monster truck racing ever. And I'll tell you, a lot of it goes to Andy Brass, who absolutely put the Bigfoot truck through the paces and got everything out of it had to give. But tonight, that was not enough to beat the rookie, to beat the kid, Greg Holbrook, who wins his 2nd straight event in the Equalizer Chevrolet. And indeed, Gary Cook has found himself a driver that will make that truck again a serious contender to win the World Championship. Pictures will say it all as they finish one more time. We'll see you next time on ESPN.